we're going to talk about being able to grow your demolition company into different markets, territories, and geographies than where you currently are. In the demolition business, you sometimes want to or need to grow into new geographies, new territories. Make your current backyard, stick with it, be awesome, but also gather a new backyard, so to speak, so that way you can grow and scale your demolition business. With this in mind, number one, you have to do some market research and analysis. It's great to have maybe an accountant in that new backyard, a lawyer in that new backyard, maybe take on ownership of a smaller or medium-sized demolition company in that area. You have to really understand what's going on in that market, from their size, their growth trends, the competition you got to check into, regulatory environment, all different kinds of things that you really need to focus on, preferably before you jump right on in. Number two is strategic partnerships and alliances. Guys, you should be getting close to the government. You should be getting close to the associations, partners, alliances that could be strategic, let's say with equipment dealers, things of that nature, in the geographies that you're looking to go into, so that way you can mitigate risk, because you're frankly maybe not as familiar as you think you are with a particular place. It's definitely not ideal just to jump on in. If you can get through with networks and the resources, you can really catapult getting over things like regulatory hurdles and differences in an area's culture. Number three is adaptation and localization. When you are looking to successfully expand into new areas for your demolition business, things like equipment dealers, maintenance, marketing strategies, all these different things such as regulations, cultural norms, buying temperaments, the ability to charge certain money, let's say Kentucky compared to Texas, Texas compared to New York City compared to California. All those different things are going to be very different. There may be good money in all of those areas. Matter of fact, I would almost guarantee there is for demolition businesses. All of those places have them. However, you got to really do your due diligence from things like building codes, regulations, all these different sorts of things to make sure that you guys are making a wise decision and one that is well thought out. For number four, we got investment in talent and resources. Obviously, when you're growing in a new location, you have things like infrastructure with real estate. Are you going to rent? Are you going to own? You got to be able to put your equipment somewhere. Are you going to own this new equipment, or are you going to rent it out from a local dealer? You got to really think through those things and have those kind of mapped out before you go jump into the water, because this stuff, it's going to be very important. And even think about an office space and team members, things of that nature. You want to make sure that you do your homework before you go to take the test, frankly. Number five is brand building and marketing. With this, you want to make sure that you guys have your website allocated for new locations, your Google My Business allocated for new locations. You're going to have things like your advertising fine-tuned and updated, so that way you can attract net new business in these areas and not just go plop there because you have a few referrals and a few people that can maybe give you some action. You really, really want to make sure that you have that nice pipeline in a new location. Search engine optimization, is also very big for this. You need to make sure that your website and everything about it is promoting the fact that you now have a new location and that you can be competitive online in that new location, so you can be competitive in the real world in that location. Number six is continuous evaluation and adaptation. This is just essentially showing that you guys can tinker, monitor, pay attention to the changing market conditions in this new area, because the dynamics are always at play, where if you're not on top of your performance, or you're not on top of, prospecting or clients or your stakeholders for that location, such as your executive team there or your foreman there, that kind of thing, you may not know what you're really getting involved in. And you always got to keep an eye on the current state and the future state when you're going into a new location. Those things can be very different relative to your mainstay or your backyard of your current demolition company.